everybody, for tuning into another newly listed on the CSE clip. It is still November, and today I am talking to Patrick Morris. Patrick is the president and CEO of Eat Beyond Global Holdings. Patrick, thank you so much for your time. It's great to see you again. How are you?
Great, Anil. Thanks for having me. We're pretty excited.
We are equally as excited to have you guys on board. I know I've had a chance to talk to you a little bit about Eat Beyond Global and what you guys do, but for our audience, why don't I let you go into that? Give us an introduction to the company and what the vision is.
Sure, absolutely. So Eat Beyond Global, ticker symbol EATS, E-A-T-S on the CSE. Our tagline sums it up really. We make it easy to invest in the future of food. So we created Eat Beyond so that we could provide retail investors with access to the very best companies in the space from around the globe that are innovating in the plant-based and alternative food sector. We're also focused on a broad cross-section of companies addressing the growing need for a more sustainable and plant-based food options to benefit global health and food security. So these are big topics these days, and we're seeing that with a lot of the interest that's coming early into our market here. So Eat Beyond is the first investment issuer in Canada that's focused on identifying and acquiring equity in diverse global companies that are developing and commercializing innovative food products and technologies. This includes plant-based proteins, fermented proteins, cultured proteins and agriculture, food tech and consumer packaged goods, as well as cell agriculture and other experimental projects, so that's sort of the blue sky where the way the industry is shifting. So we wanted to provide retail investors, again, the ability to participate in this sector, which is getting a lot of attention lately. And it's largely through private equity lately. So it's tough for people to participate in some of these, IPOs or even pre-IPO investment opportunities. So that's where Eat Beyond comes in. We have early access to some of these companies before they come online. And for that matter, we have access and allocation to some of these IPOs that the average person can't participate in. So that's sort of our niche at this point in the market. And we're the only ones so far doing that.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a real interesting take of the sector. So Patrick, why did you guys choose to take this company and project public?
Well, initially, I mean, that was the plan from the beginning when we came up with the concept, because again, we were seeing all these great opportunities in the market, but it was tough to get access to getting into the investments ourselves. So we thought, why don't we put together a fund that has incredible talent pool from the food industry, where we can weed through and find the best companies and the best investments in the food space and in the future of food, and put it into an investment issuer setting. So that was the plan from the beginning, to go public. And we like the CSE, so we went with you guys initially. So, yeah.
Well, that's always a great plug there. So, Patrick, obviously, I know you, but for our audience, can you talk a little bit about your background and how you got into this?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm a capital markets executive for over 15 years, maybe 20. And so we've been in different sectors throughout that time, including mining exploration, technology, and recently cannabis, seeing the beautiful disruption in big pharma and the cannabis industry. And now we're seeing similar things in the food industry where it's just such a massive beast that it's not sufficient for the globe, for the environment, and let alone people's health in some ways. So there's so much room for disruption in the food space the way it's going now, that was the main driving force behind the whole thing.
Got it. What about some of your key team members? Are you able to talk to us about the people you've aligned yourself with to move this project?
Sure, absolutely. So our talent pool runs pretty deep. We've got an A-list group of people from the food industry, know a whole lot more than I do. So we'll start with Diane Jiang. She's 29 years experience in CPG, consumer packaged goods. So she's our expert on that side of things. She was CEO of a company called Hempco and director of Aurora Cannabis as well. So she's just great. Alan Linder, he fits our distribution angle. So he's got 30 years experience down in the US with a company called United Natural Foods. So he's a distribution angle for us. Lloyd Lockhart, he started Choices and Super Value here in BC. He sold that company, I think he had 1,000 employees at the time, to the Pattison Group. So he's our retail expert, heck of a guy. And then Don Robinson came on most recently. He's the former CEO of Mars Canada. And he's the executive kind of deal maker guy. He's just high level. And his Rolodex, I guess, or his contact base and network runs really deep into the industry. So not only that, he worked for companies such as Kraft and Nabisco in the past as well. So Don's a real superstar at this point for us. So having that team together, vetting through the different investment decisions that we make as an investment issuer, I can't call it a fund, investment issuer, it just eliminates a lot of that due diligence that the average investor, retail investor, would have to do themselves. You know, it's all, we're doing it for them in the space.
I think my next question you've answered a bit here.
Okay.
I wanted to, obviously, you know, you guys have a list of team members that have great experience in this space. Your background is obviously very strong. What would you say, because we're seeing a lot of companies, obviously not investment issuers in this space, but a lot of plant-based protein companies come to market. What would you say would be one or two key factors that differentiates a company and team like Eat Beyond Global from some of the other players in the team,
Right.
in the industry?
In the industry, right? So we like the Very Good Butchers story. That was probably our darling investment thus far. We managed to get in at their 25-cent IPO. The stock's currently trading in the $4 range right now. So that was a big win for everyone. But I like to use them as an example, of course, just because of how they've built in a conservative way, and they're rolling out their facility and their growth patterns in a smart way without, you know, spending too much money like we've seen happen in the cannabis space in some places. But they've got great marketing. They've got good shelf presence before they even went public, and their product tastes good. And they're really sort of revolutionizing the butcher aisle, right? So they butcher beans, not animals. So that's all part of their whole branding situation. I thought it was brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, we've actually had a chance to feature Mitchell on both our podcast, our Instagram lives, and find out what they do. That's a great point that you bring up, because obviously finding teams and companies like that to align yourself with is what differentiates Eat Beyond Global. What are some of the milestones that our viewers can look out for in the coming weeks and months?
Sure. So first thing is, you know, as it goes in our industry, in these junior companies, that you tend to start small and you grow big. So the idea for us as an investment issuer is to increase our pool of capital. We want to be the first choice. We sort of are the first choice now, but we just need to be bigger for some of these companies that are coming online. So we anticipate raising some money in the next 12 months. I can't go into much more detail than that, but we've got big plans to grow the fund into, or the issuer into, something very big, multiple times what it is now. So
I'm sure our viewers want to follow you guys and keep up with what you're doing, just to make sure that, you know, they're up to date with recent news and milestones. So where would someone go to keep to follow your news and find out more details about the company?
Sure. Go to eatbeyondglobal.com. That's our website, so you can find everything there. We're just coming online with our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. So we'll have a list of those items there with our handles. But I just, if I could, in closing here as well, this is one of these times in business where working in this type of industry to make change is a good thing for 5 reasons: advancing human health, environmental inefficiencies that we're seeing around the world, climate change, animal welfare, and of course creating value for our shareholders. But it's got a good feeling behind it.
I love those 5 points and your final message there. Patrick, thank you so much for your time. We wish you and your team nothing but success moving forward and building on what you guys already have. We here at the CSE are here to support in any way that you might need, so feel free and reach out at any time. And I look forward to hosting you and maybe some of your key members on the team in the near future, hopefully in the new year, to talk more about the growth and what you guys have built.
Happy to, Anil.
Great.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully I get to see you in person soon enough.
Yeah.
But congratulations on the new listing. And once again, welcome to the Canadian Securities Exchange.
Cheers. Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in to another newly listed on the CSE. Please feel free to hit like and share this content and hit subscribe if you haven't already.